So in our previous segment, we were talking about how certain nucleuses are going to be radioactive and how they tend to fall apart at a rate that is going to be related to their half-lives. Well, those radioactive nucleuses can be incorporated into minerals. So the elements, the nucleus is inside the element can be incorporated into a mineral, and then those minerals in turn can be incorporated into igneous and sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. So I just wanted to point out here are two typical radioactive nucleuses. And so you've got carbon-14 that has a half-life of 5,700 years, and then you've got potassium-40 that has a half-life of 1.3 billion years. So notice that's a drastic difference in their half-lives. Now this is important because let's say that you want to, you find an arrowhead and you want to know how old the arrowhead is. Should you use carbon-14 dating or should you use potassium-40 dating in order to do that? Well, you don't want to use the potassium, this one here. Okay, because let's say that this thing is only 10,000 years old, but this thing has a half-life of 1.3 billion years. So in 10,000 years, how much of this stuff would still be remaining? Well, something like 99.9% of this would still be there because it's going to take 1.3 billion years for half of it to be missing, whereas this arrowhead is only 10,000 years old. Now, let's say that you find a trilobite, and this trilobite is like 500 million years old. Would we want to use carbon-14 to date it? No, because this time in 500 million years, this stuff would have gone through so many half-lives, there would be hardly any carbon-14 left in the trilobite. So you have to be careful about which method you use in order to date a particular kind of rock or fossil. So what does radioactivity, what does it tell us about the rocks themselves? If it's an igneous rock, it's going to tell you how old was it when it's solidified. So igneous rocks come from magma. So as soon as it changes from magma into an igneous rock, that's when you start clicking your stopwatch. So it will tell you the age of the rock. It also tells you the temperature, because do you remember Bowen's reaction series, which meant that at certain temperatures different minerals would solidify. So it also tells us something about the temperature at which the rock solidified. Now with a sedimentary rock, radioactivity is going to tell us the age of the sediment in the rock. Remember, sedimentary rocks come from sediment. So it would tell us the age of the sediments that were glued together to make the sedimentary rock. With metamorphic rocks, it's going to tell us the age at which the rock was metamorphosized. And it will also tell us the temperature at which it was metamorphosized, because again, we had those index minerals in metamorphic rocks that would appear at certain temperatures. So, what's some problems with radioactivity, using that to date rocks? So one of the problems is water. Water, when it goes through igneous and metamorphic and sedimentary rocks, it can carry stuff in and it can carry stuff out. And that would upset those the percentages of the parent to the daughter materials in there. And if those have different percentages, that could alter our perception of how old that particular rock is. Another thing is that when a rock is heated up, it can cause changes inside the rock, and certain minerals can escape. And if they escape, then they are going to be taken either parent material or daughter material with it, and again, that could change the age of the rock, the perceived age of the rock. Okay, let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the geologic time scale.